So I think, it is tricky, isn't it, trying to predict the Blues team at the moment? And that in itself tells a story, doesn't it? Because, a good, consistent, settled team are usually quite successful. And we
Yeah.
seem to be every pre-match, podcast talking about, well, who shall we play? We should almost we should know who the back four are, pretty much know the midfielder are,
Yeah,
and
you're
we
right.
haven't got that. We keep changing the team around all the time. So welcome back to Smallheath Alliance FC. And this weekend, Birmingham City take on Watford at St.Andrews at Knighthead Park, and what has turned into a must-win game. Given the current results of Birmingham City and our current form, we've now been dragged right into the relegation fight at the bottom of the Championship. And as we currently record this video, we're just one place above the bottom three, having just been defeated at home by Middlesbrough. So we're going to talk about the match, and I'm going to pass it straight over to Matt and say, Matt, what do you think about the match against Watford, and do you think we'll get all 3 points?
Well, this has now turned into a must-win game. And I watched Mark Venus' press conference after the Middlesbrough game, and he said first sentence was we lacked real quality.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, what's more important than that is that we lacked passion, we lacked drive, we lacked commitment all over the pitch. There was no movement. The passing was really sloppy. So we really need to be on our game against Watford. We really need to sharpen up. And if I was Mark Venus, to be perfectly honest, I'd be giving these players an absolute rollicking between now and Watford. Getting them fired up. We're one place out of the relegation zone. It really is a reality now that we are in this relegation battle.
Yep.
So Mark Venus, the staff, they need to get these players fired up, because I don't know whether you agree that something is missing on that pitch at the moment in terms of passion, in terms of, I don't think the players are getting how important every game is that goes past them. We're running out. We've got 9 left. And specifically on the game on Saturday, what's really interesting, obviously Watford have just got a new manager. And again, is it typical of Blues? We always seem to face teams when they get that new manager bounce.
Yeah.
But Watford are a good team. They're sitting in 14th at the time of recording. I've actually seen Watford on about 3 or 4 occasions this year on the telly, and they're actually very good going forward. They're a pretty good team. They're very aggressive. They're very fast. It's going to definitely be a tough game. I would like to see us go back to basics. We've mentioned this several times. I would love to see us go back to a 4-4-2. I think if we did that, I think I could see us getting 3 points here. I think if we stick to the same formation, I think I'm possibly going to go for a draw, just because I don't think it's working in the system that we have. But there's no doubt Watford only have 1 win in the last 6 games. So they're going to come to St.Andrews at Knighthead Park on Saturday gunning for this win, aren't they? They're going to be battling for everything. They're going to see this as a must-win game just as much as we are. I think we're in for a tough Saturday. I'm just really hoping the players turn up this weekend and they want it and they gun for everything and they run around, and I'll be happy with some passion and some fight. But we're in for a tough Saturday, I think.
But that's all we want as Birmingham City supporters. Even if we were to lose, as long as we feel as fans that we've seen our team put in a shift and work and play for the shirt, because sometimes it doesn't work out for you whatever you do, but it's just all we expect as Birmingham City supporters to see our players committed to our team and giving the effort. Yeah. Now I look at Watford and they, as you said, they've just sacked their manager. But I'm absolutely amazed he lasted that long, because Watford have got a track record of sacking managers, haven't they?
Yeah,
But they've won. Also, they've lost 6 of the last 8 games, so they've got, and in fact, they've got 6 points out of the last 30, so 6 points out of the last 10 games. So they're on a bad run of form themselves. They sacked Valérien Ismaël, and they've just recently appointed Tom Cleverley, who's obviously one of their players, used to be a Manchester United player, actually. Mm-hmm. So that makes it really difficult to talk about what we're going to see with Watford, because we don't know what formation that they're going to play. Yeah. Under Ismaël, they've been playing a combination of a 4-1-4-1 and sometimes a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Now, clearly, that hasn't worked, but we saw what happened when Neil Harris went into Millwall. He changed the system immediately. Mm-hmm. That could happen against Watford. We've got no idea. So there's no previous videos to see how they're going to be set up under Tom Cleverley. But of course, with the run they're on, it'll be absolutely foolish for them to set up with the same system.
Yeah.
So something's going to change, and we don't know what that is until we get to the game.
Yeah. So when I was doing a little bit of research on Watford and on the previous games that I've seen them, they've always set up in the 4-3-3 formation. I've just got a few stats here. They've got Asprilla and Rajovic up front. In midfield and up front. They've got 15 goals between them this season, which is quite interesting. Yeah. They attack down the left. They like going down the left. They're aggressive, and they like to shoot at distance. So Ruddy, again, could be in for a tough afternoon on Saturday. But I have no doubt when it comes to Ruddy's shot stopping abilities. Fair enough, he's pulled a few clangers this season, shot stopping. But he's still a solid keeper when it comes to shot stopping.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, it's his
Yeah.
distribution that's really letting him down of late. But if Watford play the way they do, they could be firing some shots at him from distance. I hope Ruddy's on his game there as well. But they are vulnerable in certain areas. They're vulnerable at set pieces. They're vulnerable on the counter attack. We can be quite fast on the transition at times. So I'm hoping we might get a few counter attacking opportunities as well. But I think we need to be a lot more clinical in goal. But I want to fire a question to you. How do you think we'll set up this weekend?
It's difficult to know based upon what we've done so far. We seem to be favouring, well, it's not a traditional back four, but there is a back four which usually will go for. Well, Sanderson's back this weekend. He's always available this weekend, and I've got a feeling that we're going to find out that Mark Roberts is going to be out again. So I think Sanderson will come back into the team. There's no reason, I don't think, to change IU, but that means if that is the case, it's going to sacrifice either Ethan Laird or Cody Drama, because I think Buchanan will start on the left. So
if you're being fair off recent performances,
Drama,
yeah,
I'd pick Drama too.
Same, yeah. Has to be Laird on the bench.
In midfield, I would again. I'm not too sure whether Pritchard will be fit or not, because I think that it looked to me when I watched that game at St Andrews against Middlesbrough, it looked like he picked up an injury to me. So I'm not 100% sure if he'll be match fit, but I think it'll be Paik and Dazal in the middle again. And this is where it gets tricky now. Because I think based upon performances, I think that I tend to probably start with Bakuna on our right. Left, I think over the last couple of games, Miyoshi's not had great games. Whether he'll start him there or not, but let me ask you a question: who would you start on the left, or would you start Bakuna on the left? And
it's difficult. I would maybe start. From this season, it would be JJ off the back of his performances consistently. But he was so bad against Middlesbrough. I thought he was lazy. He did make a few little run-ins in and a few little passes here and there, but overall I think he was quite poor. But I think to me, possibly Bakuna. I would possibly give Miyoshi another run, just because he does give us quite a bit of energy up in the top part. And believe it or not, Watford are prone to not coping with flair players very well. Does that open the gate for Dembele? I'm not too sure.
I thought he was injured, because when I looked at when Mark Venus was asked in the post-match conference for Middlesbrough, he said he'd got a cut on his foot. That's why, because he wasn't even in the squad, was he, against Middlesbrough? I don't know if he's injured or not. I don't know. It's not absolutely clear, but he wasn't dropped because obviously he wasn't wanted to be in the squad. I believe from what Mark Venus said, he actually had a cut on his foot.
So depending on injuries, for me, it would be JJ, Pritchard, and Bakuna. If Pritchard's injured, I would swap him out for Miyoshi. That would be my choice in the attacking three there up the top. But again, as we've been banging on about this podcast, it's irrelevant who we put up top if they're not willing to run and put the graft in. That's the key for me in this game. No matter who starts, no matter what position, you have to fight for the badge, earn that top, and you have to put that graft in. Simple as that.
I think up front, I think you can't really look beyond Stansfield.
Yeah, exactly.
And he does run around. He runs around relentlessly. His energy levels are really, really high. I think he needs some help. So whether or not we'll put maybe Tyler Roberts on, to start with him, try and give him a bit of support up there. So I think it is tricky, isn't it, trying to predict the Blues team at the moment, and that in itself tells a story, doesn't it? Because a good, consistent, settled team are usually quite successful, and we seem to be every pre-match podcast talking about, well, who shall we play? We should almost we should know who the back four are, pretty much know the midfielders are, and we haven't got that. We keep changing the team around all the time. Yeah. You mentioned some interesting players actually for Watford. Asperilla, you said, scored 6 goals. He has, but he's also got 5 assists as well. So he's a good supply line for them as well. He's an attacking midfielder, so he's one to watch as well. Vakun Bayo, he's a centre forward, 5 goals and 3 assists as well. You did mention the top scorer, is it Rashkovic, which is 9 goals, and they got a left winger, Matthias Martins. He's got 5 goals.
Again, a pattern of spreading the goals across the team. Isn't there?
I think that they will come to St Andrews because of their current form. They will be lacking in confidence because of that. But of course, now they've got the new manager. What the new manager is going to do, and what they're always going to do, they're going to go in there and they're going to say, right, it's a clean slate now. We're starting from today. Let's forget what's happened now. Let's move forward from this point. So they've all got something to prove. But what I would be worried about if I was Watford, if you look at the fixtures they've got left,
yeah.
currently they've got 45 points, so you suggest that they're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You would suggest, but looking at the fixtures that they have left, listen to this. These are the remaining fixtures for Watford: home to Leeds, away to Ipswich, away to Southampton, away to West Brom, home to Hull, home to Preston, away to Middlesbrough, home to Sunderland, and away to us. So after they've played us on Saturday, every game beyond that is a team, or the lowest team is Sunderland in 12th, and they got the rest. So you would suggest that unless they continue to pick points up as well, they might be sort of thinking, well, we were looking over our shoulders. So basically what I'm saying is, for them, playing us, they're going to look like Birmingham City. They're right down the bottom. We've got to win that one.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So that's the worry. So I think the game is going to be really, really interesting, because I think we need to see a reaction from our players. I think they'll know that. But of course, it depends how Watford come, because they're going to be firing all cylinders, I'd imagine, trying to impress their new manager.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny you say that, because I was doing a bit. I like to research the teams around us and what their future fixtures are. And you say, I did see Watford's running on. I think me and you might have been discussing it at the game last night, and we were going, blooming heck, they're going to come here on Saturday thinking, we have to get 3 points from this, because where else are we going to get points, with all in all seriousness? And I think they're on 45 points at the moment.
That's correct. Yeah,
so Watford could actually genuinely get sucked into this vacuum down the bottom if they're not careful. I don't think Watford are a team that would get relegated, I must admit. I think there's worse teams in the league than Watford. But if they're not careful, just off the back of simple logic with the teams that they're playing, if they don't pick up points, they're going to really start to get sucked into that battle as well, aren't they? So
they're 14th at the moment, and you suggest 14th seems to be safe, but it's so tight down the bottom. They're on 45 points, and then you've got, looking at my league table here, then you've got Swansea and Millwall on 43. Then you've got Plymouth, Blackburn, Stoke, all on 41. Then you got QPR on 39, Birmingham on 39, and then you got Huddersfield and Sheffield Wednesday on 38. Obviously, Rotherham are down there in 19, but I think they're gone. Well, in fact, I know they're gone. There's no way coming back from that.
Every time I see that table or hear those numbers, it's absolutely insane, isn't it? This year, it really is.
But it does. What you use the word vacuum, it could be quite feasible that if teams at the bottom or below Watford start to pick up points, they could easily get dragged down there. Yeah. We just need to look after ourselves, Matt. I mean, one thing that I'll finish with is that at the start of the season, we was all really elated with the takeover, and and also I think our summer recruitment was good. I liked the recruitment of the players that we bought in. Ethan Laird, good sign, Stansfield on loan, Cody Drama, Buchanan. They're all good footballers. I honestly, if I'm being brutally honest, I didn't expect to be in this position.
In terms of individuals, I'd say we've got the best squad we've had for a long while.
It doesn't make sense, does it?
There's just no fighters in there.
Yeah, you look at that team, and that is probably one of the best squad of players in terms of their ability.
Yeah.
That we've had for quite a number of years, but they're not showing it, and that's the worry. And I'm really surprised that we're in this position. So I thought this is going to be a season where we wouldn't be struggling, and here we are again. This has to be the last time. We say this every single season. This has to be the last time, doesn't it? Every time, Birmingham City fans, we can't be. And there's no this nonsense that you're too big to be relegated. That's a complete, absolutely rubbish statement. Loads of people say it all. Not us, but people say that. Oh, this team can't go down because they're too big, or they got. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, whatever the league table shows, that's 100%. Where you are. It doesn't matter what your team is, what players you've got, and we've got to ensure that for the rest of the season now, we ensure that we get a. I think in the summer we're going to press the reset button. Which whatever happens, we'll press the reset, because there's so many players out of contract, and all the loan players as well. They'll go back to their clubs. So that's the moment where we will press the reset button. But this season now, we must start to pick up points and get ourselves out of trouble.
Watford's now a must win.
Yeah.
We have to get 3 points.
Yeah.
But in traditional sense, what I always do is I pick one player and I always do a score prediction. So I normally pick an attacking player, and you've mentioned Asprilla, brilliant player. He's going to cause us some problems. But my actual player this week's a little bit of a curveball, and it's the centre half, and it's Wesley Hoyt. Really solid. He's probably got one of the highest aerial battles won this season. Highest rated Watford player over the course of this season so far. And I think our strikers and our attacking force have to be on it if we're going to break down Watford at the back this week. And I've got 2 score predictions, but just humour me for a moment. I think if we go to the system that he's playing and he sticks with it, that 4-2-3-1 style, I think it's going to be a 1-1. I really do. I think it's a score draw. If we go 4-4-2 and we go back to basics, I think we could win this 2-0. However, he's going to play the system, so my score prediction for this week is going to be a score draw of 1-1.
Okay, and that is my score prediction as well.
Okay.
I won one. It's because, and we've said this on previous podcasts. You've heard us, Blues fans, that we are not capable of keeping a clean sheet. That is
100%.
2 clean sheets in, I think, 16 games now, if you count the Middlesbrough game. Tells us that we're going to concede goals. So we can't win games or scrape games 1-0 because the opposition always score. I would like to see us, of course, I'd like to see us get the 3 points, but I can see us conceding again. And I think that 1-1, which isn't really going to be good enough, is it? But I'm sure I haven't maybe not the players. I haven't got the confidence to predict that that we could keep a clean sheet. So therefore, I'm going to go for 1-1. But of course, I'd want us to win. But what do you think, Birmingham City supporters? What do you think about the game? Do you think we can win this game? Let us know in the comments below. Give us your score predictions. And if you have any comments about what you think for the rest of the season, then also let us know in the comments below. We always like to see your comments, and we will respond to them with our thoughts. So we really hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to check us out on social media. Don't forget to check out our X account and also our Instagram accounts. And you'll find details of our handles in the description to the video below. Also, if you haven't already done so, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And me and Matt will see you on the next video.